Hello, welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and rampant flesh tearers to that 6+++ show. I'm your host, Tom. I'm reporting in from way back down south in this very nice study that I find myself in, having finally cleared out my old house and moved back down south for a little while. And I am going to be talking all things win rates and Pariah Nexus with you today with my boys in the 6++ team and also the lovely Thierry, our guest, who we'll get on and chat to in just a second. Having predicted what we think the win rates for a bunch of factions will be in Pariah Nexus, we're going to find out if we were smart or if we were indeed silly using the StatCheck meta dashboard. Before I do that, I'm going to introduce my cast of players. I'm going to start where I usually like to start with my dear leader, Chris. Chris, how are you doing?
I'm not too bad, thank you, sir. I had my first day back at work though today, so that is sad. That is sad.
Sad times.
And the children are back tomorrow, which makes it even worse because
that does make
they
it
ruin everything.
John's loss is your gain.
John gets his shot back, and parents are all cheering. So there you go.
Yeah, I visited John in his shop today, and it was very busy because it is the holidays, and children want toys. Children and Tom's. Tom was also in seeking toys as well. I'm also. Oh, sorry, actually, I haven't asked you about your hobby life, Chris. Have you done any hobby, or has it been all work?
I have.
Fantastic news. Glad I caught that.
I've been painting some Lord of the Rings. Painted a few Rangers, a few Knights of Minas Tirith.
Beautiful.
It's been fun. And we are doing a 6++ painting competition. And I've chosen my model. And I built it the other day, and it went pretty badly. And then I started undercoating it, and it's also gone pretty badly. So I've started painting a different model. But
that's smart.
We'll see how we go. We'll see. I'm going to paint the starting model as we go. And there's genuinely part of me which is like, I'll paint it to a decent standard, sell it, buy another one, and learn from my mistakes. Because that's how important this 6++ painting competition is to me. Or I might just paint a model of an army I actually do collect, which is one I've started. We'll see. I'm just going to paint a load of infantry 40k models, take pictures, and decide which one looks the best.
It's dangerous, isn't it? Can send you down all sorts of paths. Because I was the same. I almost started another Space Marine chapter, having failed to ever complete armies for 2 already. I was like, what I need to do is paint a third one.
Yes.
But luckily, I played Joe Coles on stream at Hellstorm this weekend, and his Flesh Terrors looked so beautiful that I was like, okay, maybe we'll stick with Flesh Terrors for Marines. Not go and deviate too much. I'm also joined tonight by the lovely Scrivo, my sensei. Scrivo, how are you doing?
Yeah, really good. I'm also going to be painting a model. I've spared no expense as well. I bought a £2.99 magazine so I could paint a Terminator captain.
Nice.
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah. That's very cool.
But I'm going to make
I actually like that
Blood
model a lot.
One.
Yeah.
So he's going to have fangs, and he's going to have a yellow fist with stripes on it because I'm going 2nd edition for it.
Oh, you're going to go old school. Bit of a throwback. I like it. I like it very much. Anything else new in your hobby life, Scriv, or is that the main thing?
I've ordered some Lord of the Rings figures. I've played some more Shatterpoint, and I've painted half a Terminator because Deathwing Knights are slow. Like painting white Terminators was a mistake.
Oh yeah.
Me 6 years ago was an arsehole. I basically should just murder him, whoever he is. Me.
Yeah.
God, time travel's weird.
You did it to yourself. Very much did it to yourself. And this is also the time to work in our guest, the lovely Thierry. Thierry, long time no see. How are you?
Absolutely fine.
Excellent.
Fun story. Come on.
What's new with you in a 40k and hobby sense, Thierry? What have you been up to?
I will participate in your painting competition you did just.
Oh yes, wonderful. That's good.
For the rest, I've been painting GSC.
Yes, and we're going to play, aren't we? We want to run Dracari to GSC and see where that's at. Yeah, that's very exciting.
You somehow, even if you have like 40, 50 acolytes, you still don't have the right combination.
Always.
Sounds and weapons and.
Yeah. GSC is at the next stage of its usual release evolution, which is that it releases, no one understands it, it's rubbish. Suddenly someone finds a build within it that works. It involves getting all the models you already had but changing the weapons around, and you have to start all over again. And that is just about where we're at with GSC. It's going to be very interesting to see if they emerge.
Yeah. In the last edition, I clipped off so many hand flamers.
Oh, don't. Me too. Yeah, me too.
And that's going to hurt.
And they're back, baby.
I say that. Bite the sour apple and bought just new ones.
Yeah.
Hand flamers on and they will stay. And I will have too many, but magnetizing them, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, absolutely. Hand flame is very much in vogue, so it'd be good to have those back. I've got to put mining lasers on all my Ridge Runners again, having switched them to missiles.
You're ripping them off.
I magnetized those.
I should have done that. I didn't do that.
Those are magnetized. The guns on the rock grinders and the guns on the quads are magnetized.
Yeah, so with the Rock Riders, mine are okay, but it's the Ridge Runners I'm going to have a disaster. So. But I think that's definitely going to be a must, because it's a shout out to Innes, who won the Hellstorm GT that myself and Rob were at with GSC this very weekend. It was a hell of a flex.
It's amazing.
It's a very good list. The Outlander Claw list is very, very strong. This was one that was in contention for WTC in the England Cup, but we bailed out. We didn't dare try it because we had so little evidence that it was good. But it is good. It's a very legit list. It works very well into a whole bunch of different things. So Innes did really well. Shout out to my opponents at that event. I had a massive run of really good games. Played Joe Coles from Great Hall. Liam Dempsey was also there, and we had a fantastic game on the stream. Broke my Hellstorm stream curse with a secret mission. I've never done a secret mission before. That was really fun. We managed to pull it out of the bag with that. And then had a couple of defeats to a pair of mats. I forget the surnames, but well done to both the mats that beat me on day 2.
6x4 and 60x44, I believe.
Oh, very good, John. Very good. Outrageous. Absolutely outrageous, Joe. Okay. So I'm going to shout out everyone in the chat. Then we're going to do a little bit of promotion of various different things that are going on. And then we'll launch into our Pin the Win Rate topic. Cool. So Gordy's in the chat. Lovely to have you here, Gordy. Simon B is in. Nice to have you here. Martin Dorr is in. Paul Bridge, the very best Paul Bridge, is in. And Zito says, the kids have infected me as they usually do in September, so nursing myself with a Lemsip. Zito plays Death Guard. So there's a degree of tragedy and irony here, and I'm sorry to hear that, Zito, and I hope that Nogel is able to bring you through this and make you stronger.
Little Lords for you, eh?
Yeah, the Little Lords will get you. You've got to watch them. They're real pests. But hopefully this can provide some sort of nourishment and succor to you as you get through that. Okay, so promotions. There's actually a lot of different things going on in the world right now, both of 6++ and other entities. So I'm going to start us off, and then we'll chat through some other stuff that's going on. The first thing to say is it's 6++ adjacent. Obviously, I went to WTC with Team England this year as sort of doing the media rep and media coverage for them. And very excitingly, after Team England went into a sort of a cocoon and thought about their lives and reorganised everything for the new year, I have retained that role. So I'll be doing that across the whole year this time rather than just in the sort of summer run-in. But more importantly, Team England have gone under a huge reorganisation. And what that means is the Discord and the community there is very, very lively right now. There's all sorts of things going on. There's going to be tons of games being played.
So busy.
It is crazy.
Ridiculous.
There's an absolute ton of games being played. There are going to be live stream games. Everyone playing games in there is streaming in them. So all the England players are going to be playing and streaming games across the run-in, as are all the applicants. So you can go and watch, the very top levels being played and see who's trying out and what they're playing. We're going to have all sorts of TTS events going on in there as well, and different teams across the country competing with each other online as well as in person in the future. And in general, I think Team England have just sought to build on a bunch of things that were already in motion, which is making themselves more accessible, making themselves more of a national unit, letting everyone else be involved, and putting a real emphasis as well on sportsmanship and respectability, and just trying to really push building a very cohesive national community we can be proud of to take to next WTC. So if that sounds like something you'd like to be part of, go and get involved in the Team England Discord. I'm sure we can pop a link in the description after this. But what else is going on in the world of the Plus, Chris? Anything exciting?
Well, we did a little teaser video last Tuesday. I hinted at on Wednesday we got a teaser video. So if you haven't seen it yet, it's I won't give away too much. Full information is going to come out on September the 15th, but it's got to save the date, mid-March. So
there is a mid-March save the date.
Mid-March save the date.
Guys, you're finally getting married.
Of a Saturday and a Sunday. don't know what usually those things involve. It's hard to say. I don't want to give away too much.
Polish weddings.
Yes, in the middle of March, something involving 2 days of a weekend. Just
who knows what that could be.
Cast your thoughts. Be ready for it.
We're doing that whole really annoying thing of revealing little bits of information and building it up into a far bigger deal than it actually is.
Because we're really full of ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, it's one of the things we're most excited about at the moment. So
yeah, we've done a lot of plotting and scheming for this, so it's going to be fun. It's going to be very, very fun.
For that. Other than that, Tom, you today announced a competition.
I did. Pretty much on a whim in the Discord.
It was on a whim.
You'll recall. I'm a wild card.
Fair enough.
I am. But essentially, on the show last week, we talked about the painting competition. We, the team, are doing in-house right now our painting competition, painting one 40k infantry model and competing to see who can do it best. And we decided, because some of the chat were keen to have that themselves, why not roll it out as a community painting competition as well? So if you go to our Discord, you will see down in Hobby Chat there is now a community painting challenge tab. You can go down there and get involved. We're going to pit all of you lovely community members and supporters in there against each other to paint a 40k infantry model. I have very generously given you until the 3rd of October to do this, at which point we, the Plus, will judge you. Our whole team will judge. We will judge. It's going to be really funny. We will judge you. We will have podium places if there's enough of you. Hopefully there will be. We will have a coolest concept / conversion as well. There'll be a special prize. I'm yet to decide what that will be, but it'll be something cool. And we want to, above all else, we want to see all your cool models and see your painting chops and what you're up to as well. So if you're interested in doing that, all you need to do is go to the Community Painting Challenge and put your name in and say you want to do it, and you just send £2 on PayPal to Thomas Lohman at btopenworld.com. That is my PayPal, as you might imagine. And I'll hold all of that and then send it all back to the winners, basically, is the plan. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in doing, let us know in the chat. Very cool to get you all involved. And obviously 40k infantry model actually covers a very broad spectrum of options.
Abaddon.
Yeah.
But not
Abaddon. You could do Gazgul these days as well. Gazgul would count if you wanted to. That's a pretty tasty one, I think. Typhus. I think you could do a cool Typhus. He's infantry.
That's an oxymoron.
He's pretty big. Oh, shut up. John hates Typhus. He's always negging on Typhus for some reason. I love Typhus. I think he's great. So get involved with that. That would be really, really cool. Other than that, thank you so much for tuning in. Please do hit like and subscribe. We are ticking up on the subs. We're about to hit 6k subscribers, which is massively exciting because 5k wasn't that long ago. And we still have ambitions of maybe trying to shoot for 8 by the end of the year, which is a long way ahead of what we were trying to do. So get involved, join us on that. And a reminder that if you want to support us and help us to fund what we do, and we've got even more ambitious projects in the pipeline, so any and all funding really, really helps, then you can become a member on YouTube and support us that way, any number of different contributions on there. And if you're interested in getting some coaching, and this is a good time for coaching because I'm currently free. I haven't yet sorted out my next job, which means I have way too much time, energy, and thought, which is when you want me, if you want 40k advice.
Please do that. Otherwise, Tom keep coming up with all these new ideas all the time. So
it's exhausting.
Shut
up. All right, Tom. So when are we doing this? When we're sleeping? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So save the rest of the team from my energy by taking on some coaching. I've got a couple of new people in right now, and I'm really excited to get started with them. And so, come join that party if you're interested as well. Brilliant. That's the promotion done. We are very good at self-promotion, possibly the best. We've nailed it once again. I'm very chuffed with how that promotion went. So now what we're going to do is find out how clever we are, because this team of miscreants, Thierry, Chris, John, myself, played Pin the Win Rate not so long ago, trying to guess the win rates of a bunch of armies just about before Pariah Nexus started, wasn't it, I think?
Yeah, so obviously those of you who don't know the game, we say where we think what percentage different factions win rate will have. We made this prediction near the beginning of May, and then Pariah Nexus just suddenly went surprise and kind of came out like a month later. And I think we're using the data today for just Pariah Nexus so far. So our predictions weren't actually based around Pariah Nexus. Our predictions were based around the armies. So that's basically me saying if any of us have said something really, really stupid, and some of us have said something really
You're
stupid.
welcome.
That's our excuse, guys. Okay, I'm just laying the excuses out now.
But if it's really accurate, we're
But if
just
it's really accurate,
really good at the
it's
game.
because we're clever.
Yeah.
I really like that though, and I think it's good that Pariah has completely thrown a spanner in, changed things up, and we will find out, won't we, exactly how good we are, and we will be keeping score. What was it? If you get an exact percentage win rate, you get
last
2.
time we did it, it was exact was 2 points.
Yep.
Same tier of 5%, it was 1 point, and if you're out, it was nil point.
Sensational. That works for me. Let's do it. Existence UK is in. Hello, Existence UK. You're just about to find out which of us is the most clever, which I'm sure you're really interested in knowing.
Last time it was a draw between Gary and myself.
And this is it. This is it. This is where the big money is.
And everyone needs to keep remembering that. Scrivo, do you have the tier list to share? You should. For podcast listeners, Scrivo's just had a mild panic attack.
Yeah, Scrivo's face, it was not the face of a man that had the tier list.
Weirdly, I had it in a slide, in a tab open already, but I just didn't realise I was the one doing that. But it's fine.
Yeah. That's very reasonable, as no one had communicated or organised that.
That's right.
That's something I could have put.
There you go. Boom. And then make
in my
it bigger.
700 tabs I've got open because that's incredibly normal, right?
So here we are.
I'll have to tweak that. Watch this.
Oh, look at this. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying this podcast, listeners, as always.
This is good. This is an audio-visual treat.
Boom.
Stuff is happening on a screen. People are flailing around. Mr. Juggles is in and says, "Evening, you bunch of heroes." Mr. Juggles, that is a fantastic name. You are more than welcome here, sir.
You sound like a trip-hop DJ.
He does, actually.
So our percentage tiers last time were, I want to say, 40. I can't remember what he said. Was it 40 to 45, 46 to 50?
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I think so.
51 to 55 and
I think so.
56 to 60. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So basically what we did last time was we were all massive pussies and we're just like trying to edge it on just the right side of the percentage.
Always edging.
Always edging. Always be edging. Anyway.
So did we have we must have had a 60 to 65 up in S as well, I guess. I don't know if anyone used it, but...
Yeah, Scrivo might have. He's a madman. But anyway. This is one of my favourite shows. Yeah, I'm not sure how much it is fun for the listeners, but I love this show. So we only did a show for me. So, right.
Yeah.
Last time we started with myself.
Yep.
And we randomly generated. And I got Custodes.
Yeah.
Well.
Okay. So we think about Custodes at the moment. Not in a great place. So I went for 50%. Okay, so I said Custodes would be in the 46 to 50% bracket in Pariah Nexus.
Yeah. You've nailed it, Chris.
What were they?
They are in that bracket with a 48% win rate. So it's not an exact score, but you very much got them right in terms of where they're going to be. Mr. Juggle says depends where the Moth army goes. Did we do predictions for Moth? I don't think we did.
This was pre-Moth era.
This was actually before Moth had come into our lives.
Right.
I can't really remember that time now. It's been so transformative, but
it really has.
Yeah, this was BM before Moth.
What are we thinking with Custodes? Like 48 is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean they're always one of those armies that will just run an average player over, right? If they bounce off them and get hit on a sort of in a mid-table ruckus, but they haven't really got the game into the higher, stronger armies at all. So I guess that feels about right. They're solid, dependable, durable, but not really pushing anywhere exciting.
Yeah, they can still spike the 4-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Still terrifying going, I'm going to put half my army into this unit and I hope it dies. Because if I don't, they're going to smash into me. So
yeah, and the detachments, there are some cool tricks in there as well. They're not without tricks at all. They're just a bit struggling for weight of assets on the board.
Yeah, the several rapid ingresses from the...
Yeah, that's going to win some games at the end of the day. The ton of rapid ingresses via the Venatari, people are going to get caught out by that.
Yeah. definitely.
So well done, Chris. That's a point. Chris is starting strong here. Shall I keep score?
No, I am. I've got it written down.
Okay, the teacher's in charge. That's fine.
Don't worry, children. Right, Thierry, you got sisters next.
Oh.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Now, sisters are obviously in quite a tasty position, according to some people. Art of War today put them as a top tier army. Thierry, you predicted them a win percentage of 53%. Okay. How are you feeling about that, Thierry, right now?
I think I failed the meta game.
Okay.
Probably not that far off the percentage, but in the wrong bracket.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So we've got sisters here, sisters here, propped up by Bringers of Flame and very little else on 56%. Exactly as Thierry describes. He's actually 1% out compared to Chris, but the brackets are what counts in this game. Chris understands the bracket meta better than anybody else. Until we're going to watch the show back that we did last time and discover we've done it wrong.
So I can secret mission.
That's exactly it. Yeah, exactly. We might let Thierry have a secret mission halfway through this, depending how it's shaping up. I think that seems like a very reasonable way of playing the game. He is, after all, the guest.
No.
But yeah, sisters are good, aren't they? I played against them on the weekend, and it was like a very sort of highly tuned Ringers of Flame list, piloted by a very good player because the same player made the final. And I just didn't really feel like there was a ton I could do with Drukhari. It's a matchup thing as much as anything else, but they've got a really powerful suite of tools.
Yeah, no, they're in a really good spot at the moment, and we suspect they might get slightly tuned.
A nudge.
Around the time of LGT, but before or after, who knows?
That's the big question, isn't it? That's
the
big question. End of September.
Yeah, final weekend of September.
So there's a big if as to whether any changes are in play by then.
Yeah. I'm all for it. It's just absolute carnage. Let's do it.
Let's have it.
Just throw the tray up in the air and just hope for the best.
Yeah. Next up, we have Tom.
Oh, no.
And Tom, you got Eldari.
Oh.
Now, Tom, for Eldari, you said you thought they would have a win percentage of 46%.
Oof.
What is their real world win percentage, Tom?
Well, I've got away with it, Chris, is what's happened, because they're at 50%. I am a mile out in real terms, but I've nailed the bracket. And I stand by that. They were always going to be there in a slightly whiffy, not really at it in the same way anymore kind of place. And they are, as all their other stats are pretty middling to poor now. But yeah, definitely slightly undercooked the Eldar prediction there.
Art of War are thinking they've got some really cool list because
they do. They absolutely do. They think they've solved it.
Yeah, they're going down the double or triple.
I do. I think with the suite of tools that index has, if you really dig into it and you're a very good player, you will find things that work.
I still think they just do so many things well, right?
100%. It's just that they can't duck and weave around every version of every good army right now in the game, and so that's going to hurt them in events. So they don't have that now.
They're less frustrating to play against too.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
very much. I've enjoyed my games against Eldar recently, mostly because it's involved running them over. But it's been a really good time.
Weird.
But I am excited to play them a little bit myself. I think going forward, I'm going to give that a go in anticipation of a new book before too long. Well, before
next year,
in like 4 or 5 months' time. Yeah. You forget how slowly time moves in this game. So I've got away with a point there, haven't I, Chris? I'm as good at this as you are.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Okay.
Scrivo.
Yeah.
You got Blood Angels, mate.
Oh, God.
Now, I think at the time, some of us were excited about Blood Angels.
I know where the actual number lies.
We talked him somewhere, didn't we? We talked him out of one of them.
I remember, because I can't remember if we did this before or after you guys did your actual tier list, which was... Well, that wasn't like long ago, was it?
The actual tier list was when we... Yeah, but we were very hard.
I was like, I don't think they're very good. And you were like, shut up, Scrivo.
Yeah.
But this was before then. So maybe Scrivo was more reserved. Who knows? Scrivo, you went for 52% win.
Yeah, they're 49, aren't they?
You went for 52, Scrib.
Yeah.
You've nailed it, Scrib. They're on 55. They're in the
They're
right
55
bracket.
now.
Yeah,
Nice.
you've absolutely smashed it. Their
Sweet.
Pariah Nexus is 55.
Cool.
55.
So-
That's pretty good, isn't it?
It's pretty solid, isn't it? Pretty
I'm
It's
about to
solid.
bring those numbers back down.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what impact the book has on them. But obviously, yeah, Blood Angels got found out a little bit at WTC and afterwards, but they are still really strong. And again, they're an army that, even if it's not closing events, does just body some stuff.
Yeah.
You know, bodying through 3 games with Blood Angels, very, very doable. And then it's how they deal with you after that.
See. All right, well, at the end of round 1, it is 6++3, Luxembourg 0.
Nice.
Damn.
How often we use that metric will depend on the future. I can't chat too much shit because of what I'm about to say next. So I got
Okay.
Jukari.
Oh.
I must have written this down wrong. That's the only issue. I wrote Jukari as 48%, and I have a hunch I might be slightly wrong.
You are 2 brackets out.
That is,
They are on 58%.
oh my,
Creepers.
8%.
Yeah, they are flat track bullies right now. They are very tough for a lot of armies to deal with. Again, a bit peaky at the actual top of the game, but just very strong, very good at Pariah. I think that's the big change. You know, although Sky Splinter was already out and was doing fine, the killer thing is just that Pariah is really suits them. The missions really suit them, and then their enemies all went down, and they didn't really.
Did they get any points changes?
They gained 30 points because Scourge went up 10. So nothing they couldn't manage, basically. You basically took the Kronos out, and the list still was exactly the same. CJ Stam asks, which stats are we using? We are using the Stat Check Meta Dashboard Pariah Nexus data, CJ Stam. So that's the wins and everything else for the factions during the Pariah Nexus itself.
So there you are. We don't need to dwell on my embarrassment. I just didn't. That was the only one I didn't.
Shouldn't that be like -2 because you're 2 tiers?
It should be
Never
something
YouTube
like that.
says second worst faction.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Thierry, you went for Tau. Tau's always a hard one to predict.
Tao's super hard.
And
I can feel myself missing the bracket again there.
you went on the edge. You went on the edge. Are you on the right side or not? I don't know. You
What's he
went
gone for?
a lovely round 50%.
Thierry, you've nailed it. 49%.
Oh!
Very, very nicely done. Almost a perfect score. Really well played.
But not
Really well played.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Tau
So
just seemed to be.
They're kind of fine, aren't they? There's not excitement around them, other than Kyle Grundy, who's always excited about them.
That's a good thing, because if people are getting excited about Tau, that normally means people are having miserable games where they're being shot to shit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you look at the armies in that 46 to 50%, whenever any of those 3 is good, life sucks. And we all know it. So it's kind of good that they're all kind of in a perfectly reasonable spot.
So yeah, there you go, Thierry. On the board. Well done.
Very well done. He's off and running now. He's notched.
Tom.
Oh.
Dark Angels.
Oh, well, I know I will have fucked this.
There you go. I know exactly the number.
Because Dark Angels players are always worse than the army is.
Shut up! I feel so seen right now. I can talk about them instead.
So Tom, for the Dark Angels, the mighty Dark Angels, the vanquishers of WTC, some would say, you went for 51%.
Oh, fuck,
You're wrong.
You're
so.
I will definitely have fucked it. Yeah, they're at 48, so I've missed there, and that's currently one of the strong armies in the game. So it's not my fault that the players aren't capable of delivering. Right, I think Dark Angels players need to take a long look at themselves and start delivering on what I expect of them.
Well, my playing at my local club stats are above 48. So
well done, John. Well
done, you.
Well done. Nailed it.
Good casual wargamer. Well done.
Yeah, bullying the other casuals. It's fine.
But I'm pretty sure my memory at the time, my thinking at the time was that they'd be propped up by like Dark Angel's Ironstorm, which also doesn't exist now. So
Yes.
I was definitely like way wrong, absolutely way wrong. But yeah, I mean they're great, aren't they? They're just very durable and solid and tough to deal with, and definitely Knights are back in a new and exciting way.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, we all love that. That's great fun.
It's always well. There's half as many of them now, which I'll take. I think that's perfectly acceptable.
But new models with swords.
Grey Knights, Scrivo. You got my beloved Grey Knights.
Right. Where they belong. They're in the bottom, right?
Fuck you. And
oh, sorry, that's where Tycho the Lost lives.
yeah. Wow.
Oh, mate, not now.
That is not.
That is not on.
Wow. You went for 54%, Scrivo.
I just thought you guys were good at the game. It's not my fault.
Oh, some of us are. I'm not.
Well, Dave Murdoch wins golden tickets with them. That means they're good,
54%. Right? So, John,
yeah,
you are in the right bracket, my friend. They're on 52%. You've nailed it.
Here we are.
Very, very well done. They have dropped off. They're not in the peaky place anymore that they were, but they are still very good. Still very good.
10-10 fodder, right?
They really are.
They're just so good at 10-10s.
You want to learn how good they are at 10-10, then watch my most recent I Am the Hammer, in which I share with you how I went 10-10 in 4 out of 5
every
rounds.
game. Yeah. That's what they're all about.
Right.
If you want to not let your team down in teams, consider Grey Knights.
Absolutely. Just make sure you take Dread Knights, otherwise people swear at you on the internet.
And they do. They will.
And the wrong gun loadouts, right?
The wrong gun.
Yeah, that's important too.
All the good stuff. And in round 2, Scrivo has stormed into a lead.
Yes.
Of 2 points to 1-1-1.
Stop the count.
Okay, there you go. Well done, Scriv.
Okay, right.
I'd love a Scriv win here. That'd be sick.
I could do with a win.
Round 3, and I got one of probably the dominant armies in the meta. You've seen them everywhere. Emperor's Children. Really glad I got to try and guess that one.
I don't even have that on this tier list.
I don't think that data exists.
Oh, is it not? Okay, well, just give me 2 points then.
No.
Cool. Is it not on the meta dashboard? Emperor's Children?
Can't see it anywhere. Let's have a look. Is there?
It's because they're an index.
So
are lots of the armies.
No, they were a new index.
CSM codex, though.
Yeah, they came out with the CSM codex. They announced
so basically
they
don't exist, is what we're saying.
Yeah, they're just CSM really.
Just normal men.
So what we could do is just use the same for both.
Okay, that's fine. Because Thierry went for CSM, did CSM, and I went for Emperor's Children. We went for very different percentages.
Yeah. Okay.
So
let's do them both together, shall we?
Let's do them at the same time.
I made the thumb exist.
Well, that's fine.
Well done.
We're really happy for you. I went for 46%.
Yep.
Thierry.
John, put the Emperor's Children on 46% if you would.
Hang on. Yeah, 2 seconds. Just getting the other thumb that we needed.
Thierry went for 54%.
Okay.
For CSM.
So this is extremely funny.
Okay.
Because Chaos Space Marines are on exactly 46%. So we've resolved this ad hoc and handed Chris 2 points.
Thank you very much.
Which is a tough one to take, but you'd have to say fair enough.
Yeah.
That's very hard to swallow.
CSM have been so much better than that win rate. Like Dark Angels players, they need to pull their finger out. It is a good army. But their win rate is trash, despite it. Yeah. Just goes to show you need more data than this, guys, as fun as win rates are.
So those guys play Night Lord armies, that's why.
Yeah.
My win rate is certainly not very good with Night Lords. I think that's fair to say.
Jack Asher managed a 2-3.
He did.
But how many points per game was that?
Which actually took the detachment win rate up, that result.
From like 26% to 4.
Yeah.
I'll just write down the 0 for Thierry now. Sorry. That's a shame, wasn't it? Right, Tom.
Jesus. He's not going to want to come back if you like that. Is that the point?
This isn't me as a person either. Just brings it out of me. Tom, you went for guard next.
Okay. Oh no.
This is interesting. I mean,
what did I think?
You played the percentage here. You played the odds. You went for a 43%.
Astra Militarum. No, Astra Militarum have had a good pariah. They're on 49, so I've missed.
He's missed it. 49. God,
because we'd literally just had the nerfs to indirect and everything else. And what we did not know was that if you just take 18 Bulgrin, you are still good, and it doesn't matter whether you have indirect or not.
Don't need them in 18 Bulgrin.
And so, God, actually, and so having written up CI for this all the way through the sort of the meta, God have been very solid. They popped up all the time, despite being pushed away from their old build, because they did get given a couple of little buffs as well as the nerfs. So they've turned out just fine. And I am not in a good spot here, struggling, scrapping down at the bottom.
You are. And Paul Bridge asked in the chat, when is my next issue of I Am the Hammer coming out? Well, obviously I did one just recently. I've got an RTT this weekend coming up where I'm going to be using a no Dread Knight list. Madness. And I'll do a little video after that just to tell everyone how I miss my Dread Knights and how librarians are shit. Shout out to Dave Murdoch, who played at the weekend, and in one single turn with his 3 librarians who were on their own, rolled a 1, followed by 6, 1 dead librarian, fired his next librarian, 1, followed by 6, second dead librarian, third librarian, 1, followed by 6.
That's statistically average, though.
And that does seem quite unlikely. So shout out for Dave for the perfect.
It's pretty funny. But I like the idea of them looking at each other and going, well, if he's going, I'm going, and then sort of chain reacting along there.
It's one of the reasons it puts me, even if I love this list on Sunday, but one of the reasons that puts me off taking it to LGT, because it's just like, what happens if it's a very important moment in a very important game and they just blow themselves up?
You get a fantastic story.
So I want those stories, really. So
is that Chris's way of saying he's going to take Eldari to LGT?
I think he might. He might. No, he might take something else. That's exciting, though. Imagine. No, he just takes non-Libby Grey Knights. That's
exactly it. Yeah, I won't delve into my... Basically,
Super Strudel... Welcome, Super Strudel, in the chat. Nice to have you here. It says that they had librarians kill a predator each in one turn at Hellstorm. Yeah, I mean, I've played CSM tanks into librarians, and they can really pop off and be a real pain. I hate them. I absolutely despise them.
It's just how spicy am I feeling. Anyway, hey Scrivo, I'm going to need some help here, because I wrote for the next faction AOL.
Interesting.
AOL.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that means.
It's definitely a capital A. Then it's like an O and an L.
Agents of the Imperium.
There we go.
There you go. Okay, Agents of the Imperium.
And you had to make a decision here. Was Sai going to get you a 3-2 or a 2-3?
God, I remember mocking him. This was awful.
Thank you, everyone in the chat who's cleverer than me. So, Scrivo, you went for 49% for Agents of Imperium.
Yeah, I'm going to use this Death Watch picture because they are actually the closest we have to that now, because they don't exist as an army.
Yeah, they're not on here. So let's just
the book's only been out 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean they must exist somewhere, right? But
Sai exists. So
yeah,
but does he? Have you ever seen Sai and the Agents of the Imperium Codex in the same room? I haven't.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So that one, I'm afraid, exists in a bit. That's existing. Oh, is it on here anywhere? No. Imperial Agents. No, there's no entry. Sai's not been active. It's on 0.
So 0%. So Scrivo, you're wrong.
But I'm also right, because
that seems fair.
Have you ever seen the win and lose?
Right here. They have a win percentage.
They're still in the box, man. Are they getting that box? Or are they alive in that box? I don't know.
You're wrong for both arguments. Either they have 0 and you're wrong, or they have a lost and have 100, And you
If
roll
anyone
50.
does know what the Agents of Imperium win rate is, and it's something that isn't 0, then let us know. But I don't.
No, it is
I
0.
don't have it.
Scrivo gets also 0. It's a shame, isn't it, Scrivo?
Well,
I like
still ahead.
Chris becomes very chopsy when he plays this game, which I enjoy. He's not normally like this at all.
I'm really not. No.
And in the lead.
This is
Yeah, I know,
Breakdown.
because we changed the rules and gave him 2 points by accident.
Wow.
Ridiculous.
That's on you
Classic.
guys. That's on you
That
guys.
is a classic mix-up. Yeah.
Right, okay. So I've raced into the lead by 1 now.
By accident.
By
Thanks,
pure skill.
Sai.
What was that, 0%? Anyway. I went for Thousand Suns next.
This is where you fucked up, isn't
No,
it?
could be a fuck up. I genuinely don't know. I went for 53%.
You have fucked up. Go to hell.
No!
They're on 57.
No, what? Really?
Oh,
Yeah,
57?
they have absolutely bullied it in recent times.
Wow. That is brutal.
So
They're
that
not
is a
lost
bracket
here, though.
miss and a failure, which means we're back in the hunt, boys. We've got a
7%.
chance.
Oh, that is brutal. Okay,
What's that?
Well-
Sorry.
that sucks. Right, Thierry.
How humble.
Thierry, GSC, mate.
Ooh.
Oh, this is going to be mad.
What do you reckon you went for last time, Thierry?
Oh,
I think that's
This was
wrong.
tough. This was tough, wasn't it? You had to make a call because it was always going to be either good or trash. There is no in between with GSC. What did you go for?
Thierry, you went for 54%.
Oh, he definitely went on the the side of good.
Yeah.
Their win rate is currently 38%.
We don't even have a tier for that.
They came from below.
That's probably going to become like 50 something just because Innes's result this week.
Well, that's the thing, and again, the irony, of course, being that there may well be a 54% win rate list in that book. It's just that it's only been found in like the last 2 or 3 weeks, so it's not turned up to help him.
Yeah, that list won 2 events now.
Yeah,
It's because the Stone Strat reserves.
They've had a bit of love since. But the book in general, I mean, was not a hit with its player base. It's, I think, one of the most abandoned factions in the game, along with Custodes. Those two have the lowest player populations.
I didn't even buy the book to review it. That's how bad it was.
I have the book, and I'm going to have to reopen it now because there's apparently stuff going on in there. But that's a shame. Hopefully, you've been having more fun with them than that, Thierry.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, there we go. That's
8 games with that list, and it's just...
That's beautiful. I'm excited to play into it. Yeah. I think it is genuinely the real deal.
You do not know what will happen, but so does your opponent.
Nice.
I love those sorts of games.
That's a really powerful position to be in. Yeah.
Staring at them going, I don't know what's going to happen. Do you know what's going to happen? I don't know what's going to happen. And then you just roll the dice whilst maintaining that eye contact.
I played a Tau player, and it's like, I'm going to kill those 4 units, but I did not screen my backfield. And those 4 units, 3 of them came back, and that gave me my secret mission. And all
it's
the
beautiful.
missions I got at the end, like deploy teleport home or the new Nexus.
So good.
Yeah,
because the fun one now with the deep, because they deep strike in when they're killed.
Yeah,
you don't have to use a blip. You can
blip
run an acolyte squad out, have them killed by Overwatch, and then the same squad can drop down anyway and flame them.
So if you have like 2 models left, go out Overwatch and then come back at full strength somewhere else.
Yeah.
But once per game
could
for
technically
the CP, though, right?
Deep strike 5 guys, and then ask if he wants to Overwatch. He kills them. You roll the 4 off.
You roll a 4
spot again,
and they come straight back. It's like Mo being thrown out of the pub, and Mo throwing Barney out the pub in the sense he turns up directly behind him. It's literally that meme.
Are they going for a 5 Guys burger? Did Thierry say?
What?
Shut up. Can we shout out Mr. Juggles in the chat who just cracked me up? He just said, I keep thinking Thierry is waiting at a barber shop with me.
It does look like that. He needs to get that magnificent beard fixed. That's what he's doing. He's in
Jesus Christ.
I don't mean fixing it's bad. I mean adjusted. I do. I could never grow a beard like that. Brain Cell says they're biding their time for LGT. Yeah, they may well. They may well emerge at LGT. You never know.
God.
Anyway, for this tomfoolery.
That's unlucky. That was a swing and a miss, Thierry.
But
that is that we do have now. That's the biggest miss we've had.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, 0%. Sorry, 0%.
Yeah. Scribble was 49.
No information we had too. Like we got the Pariah and we got the new Codex, and I had to predict both of them.
Yeah. It was tough. It was a very tough one. Sisters was the same, where it has a big impact.
Right, Tom, Space Wolves.
Ooh, I suspect I was optimistic here.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know what the actual answer is, but you played the bracket.
Yeah.
And you went for 50%.
50%.
Yes.
Oh, I've been too pessimistic. I thought I'd be more interested. They're on 55. I've missed. Oh, they were good.
I would say you were single-handedly
Joe was already good,
but you were fell-handedly beaten there.
Oh, very good, very good. Yeah, no, I've just missed that one. I've just cut that one out. I'm not playing the brackets very well here.
Oh, you've played the edge cases. This has been a diabolical round for us so far. So
yeah, we're not good at.
I don't want to talk about it.
Go and watch Art of War's tier list instead. They're smarter than we are.
No, they're not. They just did it first. God.
Well, Scrivo's going to save the round for everyone.
Come on, Scriv.
Demons.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, yeah, an easily guessed faction. Go on then.
Well known, consistent. You went for 52%.
Oh no,
John Scrivens, I could kiss you. You have nailed it. They are 52%.
No!
You are on the money. You've done it.
Oh.
Yes. Oh, what an absolute hero!
Oh God,
unbelievable.
I think I've done my back.
52 on the nose. You beauty.
Booping that little blood letter, and he's not angry at all.
Amazing work. Well done.
The turns have tabled again with Scrivo now switching position with me, and he's now in the lead. He's up to 4 points. Reference. I'm on 3.
I think it's a 2-horse race at this point.
Thierry and Tom are also playing.
I'm that guy that's famously known for being numbery person. Yeah, this is definitely my
This is exactly in John's. I mean, an exact score like that is all you need, man.
Okay, well we've all been negative Nancy's in this next round. Okay, I went for Space Marines, which is never. Oh God, it's probably like 30%.
Just pure Space Marines. Okay,
there's somewhere here.
I went for 45.
You are in the right bracket. Yes. It's 42%.
Oh, I'll take the bracket. Yeah. We played the odds there. We're like, they're probably not going to be 46 or higher because Space Marine players are bad, aren't they? So
they are rubbish. They are really rubbish.
Yeah, you're so bad you never play yours, and then you sold them.
I don't. Yeah.
He played them once in a narrative mission that went so badly we never released it.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's a true story.
I don't know the file somewhere, but we were like, we're going to try and tell a story with this battle.
Yeah, that story was some Marines getting fucked on.
We had Tom doing like voices for the different Marines.
Yeah.
Oh no,
it was really fun. We had the voices, and I was playing like 8th edition rules Eldar into like 9th edition rules Space Marines, and it just went really wrong for the Space Marines.
I got first turn when I was playing Ultra Marines. I was like, I get to redeploy 3 units. Cool. This is the first time I'd ever used the book. So I put them into these positions to get angles, and I went, I want to shoot this, and this. And then Tom was like, I don't think you're in range. And I was like, surely this Redemptor Dreadnought and these tanks can shoot everything on the board. He was like, no, they're like 30-inch range. I was like, So I basically got to shoot none of my big tanks. And at which point I then realised I'd redeployed my unit or my big tanks 12 or very, very close to Tom's Wraithguard.
Who were rubbish then, but if you put a tank right in front of them, could still get it done.
So yeah, it went really well. But the army looked beautiful.
So all of these are
Brain Cellar says we've got to release this battle report for the Discord. Chris, if it exists, we could find it. We could probably re-edit it with some. Although actually, I don't think. Yeah, probably we didn't communicate all of the hilarity that was going on behind the scenes when we were actually recording.
It's really serious.
Yeah.
So you've made a video using all that learning, though? That there's
exactly,
10 things to do to level up your game, right?
That's true. We haven't promoted that on this show, even though it's a smash hit, Chris. So do you want to promote that for a minute?
Sure. I've been into Lord of the Rings recently, so I've been trying to learn Lord of the Rings on YouTube, and there were lots of videos which were like 10 ways to get better at Lord of the Rings, and I was like, oh, that's caught my attention. We should do a 40k version of that. So I did a 40k version of that where I basically came up with 10 things that I think will make you a better 40k player. And
it's a really good video.
It's gone really well.
It's really good.
It's a clickbaity title, right? So it's always going to get loads of views. But I think the nice thing is it's received lots of really positive feedback.
There are a lot of very genuinely good insights in there. It's well worth checking out. Really. So,
yeah, basically, it's the things that I say you should do and then don't do it myself. So
amazing.
Take from that what you will. Right. Thierry, Imperial Knights.
Oh, tough one.
It's a hard one to call. Very hard one to call. Thierry, you went for 48%.
You sound so confident.
Oh, he's been diddled by the bracket because they're on 51.
Oh,
absolutely brutal. Yeah. Again, they are mid-table bullies, man. They're stomping all over people that can't deal with the stat check, and they're just not making it into the top tables. Yeah. And again, they got some buffs that have actually been fairly impactful. And again, no one's really winning events with them or competing at the high level with them. But they are just, if you want to stomp around with your robots, you are fine. You're in a solid
second at the Glasshammer GT.
Yeah, Jay did very well.
Chaos Knights.
That was with Chaos, the spiky version. But yeah, Jay did perform very well there. I mean, you'd expect Jay to, right? He's a knight expert. There aren't many of those in the world. He is one.
Well, speaking of Chaos Knights, Tom.
Oh no.
This is your chance to soar into third place here.
Yeah. I hate you.
So here we go. Are we ready?
Amazing.
You went for 47%.
Oh, he's done fucked up, hasn't he?
Right bracket, but I've missed by 1%. I went 48. It's 48. I was almost on for 2 points there, which would have been great.
Well done, sir. You've doubled your point score. Up to 2.
This is the comeback. The comeback starts now.
We know
2 exact scores, and we're home and dry, boys.
You can definitely come back in the final round. So, all to play for.
I find it fascinating that Imperial Knights have a better win rate than Chaos Knights
because there's less idiots playing.
I've seen a lot more people trying to make Chaos Knights work in recent times.
Yeah, I did. I thought Imperial Knights were nothing, but
yeah.
Canis Rex.
There we are.
I
guess Canis Rex does cover a multitude of sins. He gets killed instantly by 10 incubi, if anyone was wondering. I found that out this weekend. That was fun.
Really?
Just go in the bin, Cadis. But then the little man runs around and you don't count as getting the kill. Which is outrageous.
His name's Hector.
Very, very annoying.
That's Hector Rex to you? Sir Hector Rex.
And speaking of little men,
I think he's
Scrivo, you went for Votan.
I think you're calling me. But what are the Votan, Chris?
They are those big robot alien heads things.
Yes, supercomputers,
and
mate.
Not the dwarves, as the team.
Not the dwarves.
And that's why the reshuffling of England's happened, because they didn't know that.
Poor law.
Yeah, just that.
I say law is basically one of the fundamental criteria now. That's my contribution.
49%, Scrivo said.
Yeah.
Scrivo, you are on song because the Votan are on 50. So you're in the right bracket.
You were very close to 2 points again, Scrivo.
Very, very close to 2 points.
Keeping that lead. Oh, right. Okay, well, we've got 2 rounds to go, I think.
Where are we at?
2 rounds to go. Scores on the doors. We have got Scrivo in the lead with 5 points.
Okay.
Myself in second place with 4. Tom with 2. And Thierry...
Thierry was so far off, it's unreal.
Thierry's waiting for the haircut still on 1. Okay.
Participation medals for all.
Okay.
Well, this was a bit of a weird one. So I went. My next one was Death Watch.
Okay.
How are we ranked? Is Death Watch in there?
0 because they're not in the game anymore.
I'm sure there'll be some data. Don't you worry.
Well,
what did you guess for them?
Change the rules. Huh?
What did you guess? There is data.
There is data. Excellent. Well, I went for 45%. So put them in the bottom bracket.
You have screwed it. They're somehow on 48%, despite basically.
It's just their book that gives them full old oaths. That's what tips it over the edge.
I think there was like one or two players like as a sort of goodbye to them. There were a couple of good players like saying goodbye to them who had like quite good runs at events recently, which is quite funny.
48.
They have an event win in Pariah Nexus. That's the funniest bit.
They have
Deathwatch have won an event, which Orcs and Votan have not done.
Yeah, what does that say about what they did to my poor Orcs?
Yeah. Oh, no. Sorry, Chris, that's going to sting, isn't it?
That does sting. I thought that was... So as long as I had data, I thought that was pretty cast on.
Are you okay, hun? Are you okay?
CJ Stam in the chat says, not going to lie, this pin the win rate format is lots of fun to watch. I'm glad you think so. We have a lot of fun doing it. So I'm glad you enjoy it. We'll definitely be keeping it coming, so don't you worry.
All right, Thierry, here's your chance. Thierry, if you get 2 points here, then you're just suddenly straight back in competition. So you went World Eaters, and you went for 50%.
Oh, Thierry, it's the same thing again, mate. So they're 54. They're just a bracket above. Actually, but they again, I don't think anyone was really expecting them to have a good Pariah, but they have. They've been solid.
They've really lived solid on since the 1975.
They have.
That problematic singer didn't stop them.
No, it didn't hold them back. There's some deep cut references to Scriv. I really enjoy that. It's like a Taylor Swift album in here. It's beautiful, delicious.
I'm going through my eras phase now.
Good.
Okay, well, it does mean you can't win anymore, Thierry. I'm afraid. So that has knocked you out of the running. But hey, Tom's still in it.
Am I actually still in it?
He had Death Guard.
I'm rooting for Bruno now.
I also am. He's the people's champion, no doubt.
No, fuck you guys.
Idiot Savan.
Well, yeah. Okay. Tom, Death Guard. You went for 47%.
Oh, he's being clever there.
They're on 49, so right bracket, but not exact score.
Oh, he sneaks. Catching me up, mate. Catching me up.
How far behind am I?
Only 1
Tell
point.
it to me straight. Only one? Okay.
Yeah, because I'm on 4, you're now on 3, Scrivo's on 5, and Thierry's
okay, so I could leapfrog my way to a draw if it all lines up.
You absolutely could, mate. And
come on, you got to believe.
Takes.
Let's do a 10-10, Tom. Let's do it.
10-10, go to the bar.
Right. Scrivo.
Oh, no.
Admech.
Oh. This will not have aged well.
What do you think you went for, Scrivo?
I think I went for... Was it in the 40s?
No.
Did I say it was... Oh, I said it was bin, didn't I? I said it was like proper, like, let's just
You
leave
said
the
it was 38%.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I was trying to provoke people in the chat. I remember now.
This is the danger of doing these things before substantial change in this game. Admech are at 50%.
Oh
well.
Tasty.
How good is it that they completely changed the game all the time? And all these bottom bin armies turn up good. Oh, it's completely different, yeah. It is far away from the horde of trash it was before.
It was fine. Johnny was doing really well with it still.
Johnny's very good at Warhammer.
Johnny, yeah, that makes it big.
Yeah. He won £200 by getting third place at the Hellstorm event. Nailed it. Yeah.
Okay, so Admech actually better than Scrivo thought.
Shit. I reviewed that book and it took a week-long torture session for me to get through those reviews. It was that bad.
Yeah, I do remember. So that was a pretty dud round for us.
Oh, well.
I mean, to speak for yourself, I was great.
But Tom did really well. So we come to the final round.
Uh-oh.
And so, Thierry, you're on 1 point. Tom, you're on 3. Chris is on 4. And Scrivo is on 5. Okay.
5 alive.
Thierry, do you want to do a secret mission?
Yeah.
Okay. If you get an exact score now, you get 10 points.
Don't do this. He's going to win it.
Bullshit. No, he doesn't.
No, secret mission, baby. That's how it works. Sorry. Secret missions are very powerful in Pariah. You guys should know this.
It means he gains 3 points.
Yeah,
10.
10. No, Vito. You can get 3 points.
Chat, let us know. Should Thierry get 10 points for an exact score on the final round because he's
I just
doing a
want
secret
enough
mission?
point to beat Chris.
That's why I was saying 3. I was like, you can't beat me.
Okay, Chris.
3.
What are you on?
I'm on. I'm on 4.
Okay, John is on
1.
No, he's not. Thierry's on 1.
Oh, who? Scrivo's on 5.
Johnny 5.
Okay. The chat says he gets 10, so we have to go with the chat, I'm afraid.
You guys. Right, okay, fine.
I'm banning Simon from the chat because he just said
Right,
10.
well, I won't do Thierry's till the end then.
Save it to the end because it's
Yeah,
a
save
big
it
part
to the end.
of Pariah.
Okay,
Big part of Pariah.
how can we do... Right, okay. Let's get this one out of the way. Tom, Orcs.
I know I've fucked this because orcs have bottomed out pretty hard. Where did I put them?
53%.
Yeah, that's a shitter. They're on 41. See, the chat's going wild for Thierry's secret mission. They're very excited about this. I think we need to have this every time that the person in last could pull out a secret mission and win.
Can I gambit?
You can't, mate. No,
I don't know how to gambit. I want to gambit. I've never gambited.
Oh, I'm about to make a name for myself.
God damn it.
Woo!
Anyway.
We need to go to bed. Go on, Chris. What's happening next?
Necrons. Me.
Okay.
54%.
Oh, you're in the right bracket. They're on 52. They've held strong. Very nicely done. Always have faith in an overpowered book to survive nerfs. They will always survive.
Says the guy just talking about orcs a minute ago.
Orcs were always just kind of shit, and they got and they got worse.
Orcs. They had
sorry, Orcs players. I love that book. I'm excited to play it. But
what am I going to do?
They killed the anchor. Yeah, they killed the linchpin. They killed the Meganobs, who were fine. They were a big, slow, chunky unit. And they were like, what if they just didn't work anymore? But maybe they'll fix them in the next slate. We can hope. Cool. What we got left, Chris?
We have Scrivo. So I'm now on 5 points. Scrivo is currently on 5 points.
Scrivo's on 5, so we could have another tie again.
I can't handle this.
Okay, right.
No.
Black Templars.
Black Templars.
Very interesting faction. Some people believe the Black Templar Horde list is the best list in the whole game.
Some do.
Scrivo thinks they're pretty good. Scrivo went for 52%.
I think I'm there.
They're on 50% exactly.
Oh!
You've missed. You've missed by 2%. And again, fundamentally good army. Somehow the players aren't doing it well enough.
Yeah, well done, Ed Watts.
Yeah, Ed Watts
distracted by Blood Angels. You might have got me some
played
points.
enough events. Yeah, exactly. One more event from Ed Watts, and you probably get that.
He signed up for one and just didn't realise he was meant to be there.
He probably did. Yeah, he probably did. Oh, I mean, that's catastrophic. That's a real shame.
Oh, Scrivo's bottled it. Right.
No, I haven't. I'm still joint first.
Loser. Anyway, Thierry, here's a moment.
This is secret mission time.
There's, of course, only one faction left.
Hard.
Yes.
Tyranids.
Tyranids.
Oh, this is going to age really badly.
This could be so good. Let's see.
This could be one of the greatest moments in.
This could be an absolute great escape.
History. Thierry, do you remember what you went for Tyranids?
No.
You went for 45%.
Oh.
Tom's got a terrible poker face.
Thierry, you have missed, unfortunately. They are 48% Tyranids. All those buffs and all that excitement managed to get them 3% better than you thought.
But if you want to learn how to get that 3% better, tune into Blood Watch on a Monday night.
I've got a lot of time for that. Sorry, guys. That's so good. Bugwatch catching strays for no reason. Okay, well that's a shame. I was hoping the secret mission would come off.
Yeah, me too.
Thierry has
winner,
been repeatedly done by the bracket system there, hasn't he? Really?
Yeah, several times only 1 or 2% off, and then just got done by the bracket.
Yeah, it's
the glory of the bracket system.
It's something that Scrivo and Chris have definitely played better.
So there we are. It is yet another draw. Thierry finishes on 1 point. Thank you very much for cheering up. Tom, 3 points. And then Scrivo and myself.
That's a strong showing from the boys. Well done.
5.
Yeah.
Do we get the checkbook and pen?
We will be creating a Hall of Fame for the results, so we will do this and make sure that we get it in there. That was a tough one. Tough, hard fought.
But we don't have a winner.
A lot of big sweeps. We don't have a winner.
God.
I don't know any obvious way to determine a winner unless there's a faction on here whose win rate we haven't got.
Yeah, the top one.
Moth we can't. Yeah, moth we can't guess. I think unfortunately we have covered all of these armies because that's probably how we did it last time. Yeah. I could ask you to do one for a detachment if you like.
Oh no.
I think that's fun. I think we definitely do that as a tiebreaker.
The person that gets closest wins.
Absolutely.
Okay,
so
do we have to? Like, because if we went pitch detachment, and I went, I think it's 48%.
Oh yeah, you have to write it down. You have. Let's play higher and lower.
Well, but do we do that, or do we just write it down and be?
Yeah, I think write it down, and we're also going to play best of 3 because I like this. So let's get ready. We've got some shout outs for detachments. You guys are all picking real basic bitch detachments. I'm not going to read any of those. We're going to go edgy. So, what is the Pariah Nexus percentage win rate of the Synaptic Nexus?
Oh, God.
That's number 1, which is a Tyrannid detachment in which you do things with your brain.
I've played against it once.
I wish I watched Bugwatch.
You have 5 seconds. Then we're going to move it on. Okay, next up. What is
DSC the Xenocrete?
All right.
Is that the one that Innes just used?
No,
it is not.
Okay.
I can't actually see that on
There's
here.
no
right
data,
now.
that's why.
Oh, yeah, there
no
is.
one's
Okay.
played it.
So, what is the percentage win rate of the Xenocrete congregation? That is a GSC one, which is all about throwing repeated waves of trash at someone.
I'm so good at numbers. I'm just writing them and hoping for the best. I'm so proud.
Okay, 5 seconds.
Yeah, I've done.
I've already drawn my two pictures.
And then, finally, what is the percentage win rate of the Chaos Cults? Which is the detachment specifically for cultists only in Codex Chaos Space Marines.
That's not Pat Bounds Zealot, right?
It is not. No, this is a Cursed Cultist and Traitor Guardsman are the units that get the buffs from this.
I've just scribbled it out because I'm panicking.
10 times. You have 5 whole seconds.
I'm done.
Okay, so starting with Synaptic Nexus, the big brain bug time. That one is on 48%. What did you boys have? John's gone 43%.
Oh,
46.
Oh, Chris is close, so that gets him his first point. Okay.
Come on.
It's not in the
Under
same bracket,
pressure.
though, is it?
Under pressure. So next up.
Shit.
Next up, we have the Xeno Creed Congregation Horde of Trash GSC detachment. What did you boys each have?
I went for 30%.
Oh, John?
38.
38. It is 44. John, you're back in it. You're back in it, John. 1-1. Okay, and finally,
God, I'm
Chaos Cults detachment Horde of Trash.
I went for 58%.
Oh,
Chris
hello.
went 58, and John went
47.
Boys, it is 65.
Come on!
That
How is
detachment
that fair?
has taken some absolute names in Pariah Nexus. I don't know how, I've not seen it played, but it is very good for some reason.
I got robbed.
It's the I think it's the
Unbelievable.
movement part of it, because you get those accursed
I
cultists.
think movement is a
Very
big part of
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it just
two good
just
players.
jails you and doesn't let you out. But one guy, I think it's Derek Apser in the US, basically has won like 3 events with just Chaos Cults, and that
That
helps the
doesn't
win
count
rate.
then.
Okay.
The
Oh,
NMS
John, I'm really
metric.
sorry, mate.
Oh, don't be bitter about it.
John, would you? John, do you want?
That tastes bad.
John, do you want a secret mission because you're losing?
Yeah.
No,
If you
I
can,
want secret mission.
John, if you can exactly guess one more detachment, you win.
Yeah. Gladius.
And the one you need to guess is
Oh, shit.
the Storm Lance Task Force.
Oh, shit.
Which you will know as the Advanced and Charged Space Marines detachment, very popular on Space Wolves.
I just like to establish my claim that this is bullshit.
I think it's 54.
If you think that John should be allowed to do this, pipe up in the chat. Chris is
54.
attempting to. John Scrivens, you have guessed 54 for the Stormlance Task Force. It is 53. You were so close. So close. Oh, you were on the cusp of greatness, John. You almost did it.
To be fair, mate.
I got my 9 points in my 11-9. There we go.
Oh, well done. I like the addition of the secret missions. Actually, I think that can stay. Chris hates it, which is a sign that we're onto something.
Yep. I'm actually slightly aroused by it, so I think it needs to happen every time.
Yeah, definitely. I think it just introduces a bit of adrenaline. Stops people getting too cocky and ahead of themselves and chopsy like they have been.
Yeah,
Chris. Much like secret missions, you also can just get them wrong. Yeah, Thierry's been so chopsy and angry. All right, we are going to field some podcast questions now, and then we're going to call it a day. Thank you so much for listening. Please do hit like and subscribe. Leave us a comment if you haven't already. Do you like the format? Should secret missions stay or go? Are they bullshit? Does GW need to address the secret missions that we play specifically and pin the win rate? Are they not quite right? Let us know. Okie dokie. So, podcast questions. We had a very good one that I meant to address at the start of the show, and then I forgot because I forget things. And so,
no.
Say it ain't so. The first one was from Atlas, who is a new player, and says, what is the best way to change your mindset to focus on scoring points rather than just trying to destroy the enemy? I think that's a fantastic question.
Change it. Can you repeat the question?
What's the best way to change your mindset away from focusing on killing the opponent to focusing on scoring?
Play an army that can't kill.
Yes, that is exactly correct.
Shit.
Yeah, if you play armies that have to outscore, that definitely helps. And there are certain armies that really live or die by it. So, I mean, GSC can be an example of this at times. I'm not sure they are right now, but they are definitely on the end of needing to win on the points rather than just through the military battle. So, yeah, I think that's definitely one. If you're playing a slightly less powerful army, that's definitely a good way of doing it. One thing I know that Kyle Grundy does in his Pure Tide program, shout out to him, is he makes his mentees play games against him where they're not allowed to attack each other in any way. You can't shoot or fight.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And you have to win the game without doing that.
Just in
And that's very interesting. Purely on primary and blocking and scoring. I think that's quite interesting. As a way of seeing the game without the damage.
Because if you can guarantee a score without having to roll dice, it can happen without any variables.
Yeah.
So
but I do also know from our teaching of our 6+ workshops that Chris has a couple of ways of thinking about this in order to make sure you're focusing on score, don't you, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I bring it up on my wonderful video, 10 ways to make yourself a better 40k player.
Damn right you do, you sexy bitch.
Basically, it's, you just draw your cards, so you just go through a systematic check of how am I going to score my cards this turn? How am I securing my primary for next turn? That involves you looking at opponents' threat ranges and where they can get to. How can they interfere with your thing? Because when I do the coaching and stuff, quite a common thing is people just move their stuff and they pay.
Yeah.
I know I've got a game on my hands when my opponent starts measuring where my stuff can go. That's when you're like, oh man, damn! They're good.
God damn them!
When they move 22 inches backwards, you're like, oh God's sake!
I'm just my 10 is just to be just out of charge range here. Son of a bitch. How are you securing your primary? Can you deny their primary at all? And then what units of theirs do you need to deal with, and how are you going to do that? Is it through killing or move blocking or like whatever? If you are able just to get into that kind of system of just those are the way, like, points mean prizes, right? It is a points scoring game, and you listen to the top players talk, and they only really are discussing like kind of the points. It's all about the points, and there are some people out there who are playing games and not even tracking the score and just be like, you score, and it's like, well, come on, mate. You need to know the scoring. The points are the most important thing. You need to be working that out. What are you going to get left? What have you got left? There's lots of things there. I really like the idea of just playing armies that don't really kill. I mean, Grey Knights obviously move really well. They don't kill particularly well.
They're a very good example of an army that plays that
but
way.
you don't have that ability to just like murder a load of stuff. Playing those sorts of armies I think is a really good one. But then just paying, but it depends what sort of level of player you are. But like when we did our boot camp, there was someone there who just played kill the opponent missions. Like he was like, we just rock up, and he plays Tau and I don't, so I die. And there's always going to be an imbalance there, isn't there? If you do that,
7th edition,
you've got to make it actually at most simplest form. I don't know what level this person's playing, but make sure you're playing missions where the winner is the one who plays the mission the best, in theory. And
absolutely.
You could also like focus on how is it called? Redrawing the mission. Yep. So if you don't get the points, you just automatically redraw, and you train like an exercise where you do it. Okay, I can't score both of them. I will redraw. And then just see where that leads you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a good one for scoring, and that's something you can practice with your deployments as well. This is something I coach, where it's like, deploy your army. This doesn't need to be in a game. Deploy it on your own time, on a table, or online on TTS. Deploy it, then draw 2 cards. Can you score those cards? Is there a way you could adjust your deployment so that you could score those cards? Have you got pieces in place to score them? And that's a very nice way of testing your sort of initial stages of a game as well. So I think that's a nice one too, especially with the positioning required with some of the Pariah cards. Simon in the chat says, like Imperial Agents, I imagine they're an army that needs to win on the score as well. Tyrannid's actually very good for this too.
In games, like training games, I write down which stratagems I use.
Yes.
And then if the New Order, or how is it called? I can't remember the name. Isn't in the top 3 when I lost, that might have.
Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm very guilty of this in Pariah, where I overspend on CP and find myself struggling a little bit. So I need to manage better.
It's cool to do damage.
Yeah, I love doing damage. Sometimes Boy just wants some sustain too. It's just what he likes.
Don't reroll things that are very unlikely to succeed.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
I keep doing that. Those 10-inch charges.
No, they'll kill you.
Yeah, well, you're an idiot.
Did you see Joe Coles make his 11 charge against me on the stream, Chris?
Yes, we did.
Absolute hero. And then the Sisters player I played, shout out to Matt. Obviously, Sisters don't really need dice for charges, and he smashed me. And towards the end of the game, he was like, I might just try this charge with the Triumph. I don't want to use a miracle dice for it. I'll just roll it. And he just rolled a 12. And I just
It didn't matter.
I had a little lie down on the ground, giggling at that point. It was a good game. We had a lot of fun.
Does protect.
Amazing. Okay, so that was that question. Lovely question, Atlas. Thanks for that. Very useful. So then, next up, Chris the Glove asked, do you think all this nicely balanced malarkey is overrated? Maybe even a little dull? And do you yearn for a proper out-and-out meta-terror to get your faction teeth into? What do you boys think?
No.
I think it would be boring if there was just like 3 armies at the top punching each other and everyone else was below that. I guess. But when it's like you're seeing so many different factions win events, and I just feel like you've always got a game, really. And that's, I personally don't like it when I rock up to the table and I feel like, unless this person's like a lot weaker than me, I can't win this game. One of my personal issues with my Grey Knights at the moment is all the lists I want to build kind of auto lose to Thousand Suns. And I'm because I don't want to take Drago and I don't want to take Librarians. And I'm like, if I go to LGT, I haven't played into Thousand Suns in like 30 games with Grey Knights, right? But if I stumble into them round 1 or round 2, one of the things I love about Grey Knights is I feel like I've got a game. Even if I'm outclassed, my opponent's a lot better than me. I feel like if I get it right, I've still got a chance in this game. I don't like the fact that I could rock up and just auto lose because my army can't really beat Thousand Suns. And I hate being in a meta where I turn up to the table and I'm like, oh, I'm going to lose this game as long as they're a good player. So I like it where...
And it's the same from the other side, where it's rubbish rocking up with your army and the opponent is assuming they've already lost. And that's both from that may be true perspective, but also that can be from you get a load of negativity and abuse for your faction because it's too good and everyone's really fed up with it and blah blah blah. There's a lot of downsides to it, and we've been through it so many times in ninth that I just think it's much better to see it gone. The game's just kind of flatter. You don't get the highs, but you don't get the massive lows either, and I think that's probably.
Something that comes with the state we have of the game now, which were in a lot of discussion of the WTC teams, is just play your freaky list.
The
army,
try it out, because you will just meet someone who's like, what is your army doing? And you get some points off of that.
Yeah, exactly. It's very exciting in that sense. And even the armies at the top of the game can lose, right? And they can lose hard. So
yeah, right. The GSC is an example of that. It has destroyed people with that list.
Absolutely crushed them,
And that's a list that
no one knew it was there.
For most people out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And they were like, what's happening here? How much OC?
Yeah. It's an ungodly amount of OC. It's actually terrifying. Yeah, no, I agree. I like it the way that it is. I think that the only potential negative is I think the buzz of excitement around new books sometimes is a bit less, because I think people are a bit apprehensive about their book not necessarily being an upgrade, and that's a bit sad sometimes if a book drops a bit flat. And GSC did drop quite flat. I think we're just starting to puzzle things out a bit now, but it did drop a bit flat, and there were a couple of others that did as well. So that's a bit sad, especially for dedicated players of particular armies. If this is the one that you play and the book comes and you're like, nah, that's the casualty.
Even then, the book came out, it was a bit flat, but the Sisters one was brilliant. So,
yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to say. I prefer to have it flat than to have when the Elder Codex coming out.
Yeah. I agree. I completely agree. It's going to be the first ever balanced Eldar book. This is the campaign I'm on. I wanted to get ahead with this tape before everybody else.
Tell enough people, if we spread it on the internet enough,
this is going to be the first ever balanced Eldar book.
Probably people will be like, "Oh, actually, this isn't too bad."
# balanced Eldar.
No.
I have written the timestamp of when you said that in the last episode, and I will be clipping it, and it'll be a positive way or a negative way. Either it'll be look at Tom, look what he knows, get coaching, or it'll be
it's just if you want to actually just get through the whole edition without cocking up again, just make that book balanced, boys. Just get it done. All right. Okay. Next up, Ultimate Funk asks, do you think there'd be an appetite for competitively skewed play variants in 40k? I'm thinking that as the game continues to essentially turn into Magic the Gathering with models. I don't fully understand that. Is it inevitable that we end up with a 40k equivalent of Commander or Brawl or whatever?
So basically, Magic.
Oh, is this what they're trying to do with Vanguard / Spearhead?
Yeah. Okay. In Magic, it's not just like all cards. You can pick any of these cards to build your deck. There's like different categories. So there's like
right.
Pauper, which is just for like only like the common. So it's like just the cheap one, so to speak. There's Modern, which has got like quite an extensive ban list. You've got Standard, which is only the most recent certain amount of years, months, whatever.
Set blocks, yeah.
I haven't played for ages. And then there's like Vintage and Legacy, which is a very small band list, but it's pretty much free for all on cards of thousands of pounds. So yeah, he's kind of saying, is there this? Could we imagine a situation where, we've got this big tournament this weekend, and it's, I don't know what Spearhead is. What is it? Yeah, it's Highlander, or it's 1,000 points or something like. Is that something you might want to do at some point? I think it's an interesting one.
I think as Thierry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, as ITC, and then as a result, the kind of the modern kind of 40k kind of formats have kind of become quite popular. They seem to fizzle out a bit. All these different things, like, used to have 1750, you had 500, 1500 point games. Used to have things like Highlander was quite a common format where you had people turning up with just one of every unit. And I'm just not seeing that anymore. If anything, I think we're seeing more of a homogenization of the game because everyone enjoys playing that one that they're all playing the same version of, right?
But we've seen signs it can splinter. Like I think Terrain this edition was an example. It broke out of it had got locked into an established norm. People got fed up with it, then it broke out. So that did happen. So it's not impossible it could happen with scale. I'll be honest, coming back from Game 6 from Sheffield, I was like, I wish these games were a bit quicker. I would very happily play smaller points sometimes.
I agree with the point, but the example he did, like I play Commander. I play Commander with friends, like having a drink, going easy on it. But one of those friends plays competitive Commander. And, well, he doesn't bring the decks to our matches, but, like, even in that, you'll have the sweaty version of it.
There's always a sweaty version of it. You're not... That's why we have, like, narrative events, isn't it? I think something like... People are just so ingrained with it's 2,000 points, we play 3 games and we play 2 games. Sometimes we might play 3 and 3 games. I think it would take one of the big tournament organizers or a big company or a big YouTube channel, whatever, someone to go, we're doing this weekend. Come and try it out. We're going to do a 1,500 point tournament and you've got 2 hour 15 rounds. And it would take all the big names to come along and go, this was actually a lot of fun. And, look, we're done at 6 p.m. tonight, not 8 p.m.
Me and John have played 1,000 points tons of times, and it is fun. It's quick, it's snappy, it's fun, and it works. But it's just there's no take up. No one listens to me and John.
But
cinematic Warhammer next year.
God, yeah.
Isn't it a situation where between friends it's a great game and you'll play it and you'll have fun with it, but as soon as the sweat comes in, and let's say the 1,500 points comes the new standard. We have to balance for 1,500 points. And then someone finds something that is completely broken on 1,500 points.
Yeah, exactly. The game is balanced for 2,000.
I don't trust the players not to corrupt any version.
Much more breaking at the lower points because toughness is...
It was actually the opposite we found at times. 1,000 points, something like Orcs was a lot stronger than Space Marines because you
it was
shit. It was the opposite almost of what you
normally don't have the tools to deal with.
If you had cheap idiots in trucks, there was not a lot that could deal with you.
In 2,000 points, you get enough points to deal with things, right? You get the tools to deal with a variety of situations.
You have combined arms removal.
1,000 points, you don't, so skews win, I guess, is the...
So I just want to add something to not sound like the Debbie Downer. Like events with specific different point costs can be a great idea to do a one-off. But if you get like a meta, like half of the tournaments are 1,500 points. You'll find a meta, you'll have people doing reports on it, and then people will find the best solution. But just to have one tournament, we'll do a small tournament on the side, 1,500 points, an RTT, that's actually a really good idea.
It's challenging.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. But do muck around with it on a casual basis, guys. It's a lot of fun, but I don't think we'll see it in the short term. I think they did slightly rescale armies in this edition, didn't they? They're not quite as large as they were by 9th and 8th, I think, overall model count.
King of the Pin next season, 1,000 points.
I'd be up for that. That'd be funny.
TTS might not take 5 hours.
No, it might not. Sai asks, what are your predictions for the upcoming Munitorum Field Manu? Where do you see GW giving, and where will they take away?
Cheap orcs.
Or
cheap orcs need a hand.
Mario will get touched. Sisters will get touched.
Very poorly timed GSC buffs.
Yeah, just as the world discovers them.
Belial will go
down. I'm afraid what they can do there.
Yeah. I think so. I could definitely see GSC getting a leg up they don't necessarily need, which would be very funny. But there's not a ton to address.
It's minor things. If they can get it right, it'll be more in that.
I do fear that they might put Drukhari out of action, which would be a bit sad because they're on pure win rate. They are a problem.
Have they killed since in the last 2 or 3? Have they killed a faction though?
Orcs. Yeah, orcs got taken outside and shot.
Just orcs though.
I think so.
So
CSM got hit pretty hard as well.
People just aren't playing the Chaos Cultist spam thing.
Because originally it was the 3 big hits that we all kind of panicked about were, was Sisters enough, was CSM too much, and was Orcs too much?
Yeah.
And it's kind of seeing where they've kind of landed.
Yeah. So I think CSM and Orcs both took big hits, but CSM have kind of functioned.
Yeah. Orcs have a lot of trouble.
Orcs have a lot of issues.
I've not used them since.
If the factions they probably need to look at are Orcs and GSC, Orcs, I think, definitely need the help. GSC is interesting because maybe there's things you can buff that don't accidentally juice up this Outlander type build.
I don't know what they want to do with GSC. Maybe lower some points on some specific units.
I'd say aberrants.
Too far in the other direction.
Yeah,
the army rule becomes oppressive.
Yeah, that's exactly the issue. It's just an army that's very difficult to balance, but they might go, well, we've given it several months of being complete trash. Let's give it a few months of being a bit too good. I don't know. We'll see. And I honestly don't think it's going to be particularly ambitious. If I was to guess, it's going to feel like a bit of a damp squib of a slate, and it's just going to nudge things around, and you'll be like, oh, I might get an extra box of this unit because it's this much cheaper and I quite fancy it. And it's that sort of internal shuffling of options rather than anything crazy.
It's whether they want to give everyone something new or whether it's just this is a minor tuning and actually a lot of things don't get touched.
Completely.
And the next big one in January or whenever it is will be the one where they have a go at internally balancing.
If they trim the top, we might finally hit a meta where demons get a bit out of control, which would be quite funny.
52% at the moment.
Yeah, if you were a speculative person and you were gambling on demons getting better vis-a-vis their competitors, you might put them as an option for a poll you were doing about whether you'd run them at an event towards the end of this month. That's just a thought.
That is a hot take.
Cool, very, very good. We've then got... Oh, Thierry, you have a thought?
Yeah, I do prefer the way they did it. Sorry for orcs that they got trashed.
Yeah.
But the way they did it is that... I might be wrong on this one, but they didn't overbuff some armies.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
Too bad for orcs being bad for a block, but I prefer orcs being bad for 3 months than being broken for 3 months.
Yes, completely agree.
It was the points and rules changing, I guess.
Yeah, triple nerf.
We've not seen that level of.
And they hadn't really been in the game very long. That was the thing for them. They'd only just got the book, and that's always a bit tough. The same for CSM. CSM had literally just dropped. But as you say, it's better to have them down with a chance to bring them back up than it is to let them run rampant. And we've seen the game has been so much more interesting in terms of actual results as a result, which is great. And it means going into a teams event in November, there's all sorts of stuff we could be doing, which is really cool. So, our final question for the night. Suit and Tie asks, how do you manage primary play with a Glasshammer faction like BA or Drakari?
Denial.
Denial is your main one. Yes, screaming. Denial is for certainly for an army like Drakari. Denial is your main one, right? You shut their primary off. And what Drakari in general like to do, and how I've always played them, is if you project problems on your opponent, that covers the fact that if they did the same to you, you would collapse. That's the way the army plays, right? You give them problems over here because if they were over there, you would fall in and collapse. So you push and you make mischief in parts of the board you want them to go to get them away from where you don't want them to go. And if you want an example of that, watch the stream game where I'm playing Joe's Flesh Terrors, and Joe runs all his heroes onto all the objectives, and I then drop a Drakari army everywhere that is not an objective and start shooting him. And I say, unless you come and get me in these corners, you're not going to be able to stop me, and I'm going to overwhelm you, which then gets him away from the objectives, which gradually gets me into the game. You have to drag them into different places. You can also block. Move blocking is big for Drakari, right? Like the Beastmaster can go and I use the Beastmaster to block one side in a lot of games. If I'd gone first in that game, I would have done it. It pushes it up. It blocks ahead of the objective you want to hold. So then you get one turn to hold it whilst the Beastmaster eats it. So that's quite an effective strategy for quite a lot of armies. And for Blood Angels, they can play a little bit of a denial game and trading game of sending little missiles out to clear things off. And then the key thing with Blood Angels is always knowing when your sort of hammer turn is and when you go and try and do crushing damage to the opponent and put them away.
And putting in some of those tools as well. So having a unit of sticky stuff, if you can squeeze it in, just so that if you're moving off points, it's still yours.
Yeah, exactly. And we have another question from Prometheus Williams. That's another fantastic name. There are some brilliant names amongst our commentators on the YouTubes. I really like it. Prometheus Williams. Brilliant. Will Chaos Knights and Death Guard become amazing come Codex time?
No. Somewhere in the middle. They've just got to be in the middle. That's what we want, right?
Yeah.
I found it really tough.
I can't think of a time Death Guard were broken. Yeah, I can't ever think of Death Guard being broken.
You want it where they're just like, it lands and everyone's just like, oh, I can still play them, but then they have to actually research and kind of dig into it. It's not just you look at it and go, well, that's giga-fucked, I'm going to do that, because that's boring, because it's obviously not going to last, because they'll fix it within 2 months.
I'm looking forward to the Death Guard Codex, because I think they can do so much flavor.
Yeah. Do you want another cool? Uppy Downy Death Shroud. Let's go. Let's do it. Uppy Downy 3-inch deep striking Death Shroud. Give me that. I'll do awful things. That's all I want.
I want Uppy
Give
Downy.
Give me a
demon.
sort of Mortarians honor guard jumping in from the ship. Death Shroud 3-inch deep strike.
They don't play Pariah particularly well, right? They're quite slow. And
they're not great.
Get lucky with their cards. They're going to be struggling necessarily to have a good secondary game. Their thing is sticking in a particular area.
Flying Pestigore to give them a scoring unit.
Thank you very much, Prometheus Williams, for the super chat, by the way. That's extremely kind.
Oh, thanks.
Lemon character taking his sunglasses off and raising his arm to greet someone.
So basically, anytime they post an emoji or anything, it just shows us a character, a description of the emoji rather than.
That's really funny. Emoji. Well, I appreciate that lemon gif that you've sent. That I have to imagine using theatre of the mind.
Imagine lemon.
It's really lovely. Yeah, I think Death Guard, if they get a bit interesting, or if they get some of the things we know are very good, in this current set of rules, then they absolutely could be very
some
dangerous.
Really cool buffs, right? The whole BS.
They've got the debuffs are very powerful, and it's whether that's the direction they go. 30 worthless Blight Lords. Yeah, Blight Lords need some love in the new book. That would be a unit you would hope to see brought up, because it's about the only one that doesn't really work. The Blight Hauler isn't great. Blight Lords aren't great. Almost everything else is actually very good in Death Guard for what Death Guard do. It's just that what Death Guard do doesn't ever tend to be game topping. Also, obviously, something with zombies, something with Poxwalkers would be great. I always enjoy Poxwalkers. Blight Lords are lemons.
What if we get the noble demons in that book, though? Would that not be spicy as heck?
Well, and that's something we still don't know. We still don't know.
We haven't gotten a cult codex yet, so
we've not seen it. We don't know. Yeah, it's rumoured.
Having the little drone things flying around, that suddenly changes it for them. That's in their book, not just thing to fly in.
Well, if you see, like GSC got like you don't get allies from God, and you get one specific detachment with 50% allies. And they could do that for Nurgle and for Slaanesh and for all the others, for the books, to give them a detachment where they get 50 points, 50%.
Yeah.
Points.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Lots of little lords. The little lord detachment. Oh.
But I'd like them to. They've written some cool, like the Death Guard 9th Codex was really cool. It had some interesting angles, but they didn't branch out quite as much as they do in these books. Right, the difference between detachments in these books is much more noticeable. So if they do something ambitious and different, like a Terminator one that is, for example, jumping around or something like that, that's radically different for something like Death Guard that's as slow as it is. We'll see. I'm hopeful. I think it would be nice. Chaos Knights. I don't think they'll let Knights be too good again. I think they hopefully learn the lesson after the whole towering debacle.
It could still be interesting. I mean, all codex we got till now were interesting.
Yeah, in one way or another, except maybe Custodes.
Yeah, Custodes is maybe the only one that
they were at least thematic with what they were trying to do in that. I'll give them that.
Yeah, I think it's like, I think a lot of the books and the detachments have felt flavorful or themed, but in terms of how Pariah and how 10th is played, there are certain just really good things to have that some books have had and other ones haven't. Right, certain really useful tools and powers. There are certain levels of output or certain levels of mobility that some armies just don't get, and you do feel the lack of it for certain armies, I think. Yeah. Interesting stuff to ponder. Thank you, Prometheus Williams, for this late entry and for giving us some money. That's really fun. We appreciate you. Very, very kind. Thank you, Thierry, for coming on. I'm sorry that Pin the Winrate was not the glorious return and the glorious triumph over Chris that you wanted it to be. But it was a lot of fun nonetheless, and we almost had a Scrivo win.
And
we almost had secret
missions.
missions.
Go down in the barbers because you're still sat in the same seat. It's madness.
Wonderful. Obviously, Team 6 Plus will be continuing our ties with Team Luxembourg, so there'll be more Luxembourgian adventures in the future. So hopefully we'll be able to bring some of that to you all in the future as well. So it's goodbye from all of us. We will see you all very soon.